What's up, everybody? This is your boy Tech G back with another video to help you successfully pass the CompTIA Security Plus 601 certification exam. So let's get into it. In this video, you will learn about cloud models such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and anything as a service. You will also learn about various cloud delivery models such as private clouds, public clouds, hybrid clouds, and community clouds. Let's talk about cloud computing. So cloud computing, this is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power, without direct active management by the user. Large clouds often have functions distributed over multiple locations, with each location being a data center. Cloud computing relies on sharing of resources to achieve coherence and typically uses a pay-as-you-go model, which can help in reducing capital expenses, but may also lead to unexpected operating expenses for unaware users. Now let's talk about some of the various types of cloud computing models. And the first one is infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service, which is also known as cloud infrastructure services. This is a form of cloud computing in which IT infrastructure is provided to end users through the internet. Infrastructure as a service is commonly associated with serverless computing. The infrastructure as a service vendor provides the virtualization, storage, network servers, and allows for customers to utilize or pay for virtual resources when they are needed. This cloud computing model allows for customers to not have to have on-premises data centers and not worry about physically updating or maintaining these components themselves. Most importantly, this model allows for companies to reduce the costs of their network infrastructure by outsourcing storage and computing services to a cloud provider. Infrastructure as a service puts users in charge of all the software used in a project, from applications and data to the operating system. Infrastructure as a service vendors supply hardware and network support tools. And the three largest cloud providers at the time of this recording are Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and IBM. The next model is platform as a service. So platform as a service, this is a category of cloud computing services that provides a platform allowing customers to develop, run, and manage applications without the complexity of building and maintaining the infrastructure typically associated with developing and launching an app. A developer using platform as a service can concentrate on software features instead of possible issues with server hardware and operating systems. And some of the major platform as a service vendors include Oracle Cloud, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, and Salesforce Platform. Next, we have software as a service, and this is a software licensing and delivery model in which software is licensed on a subscription basis and is centrally hosted. Software as a service applications are also known as web-based software, on-demand software, and hosted software. Because software as a service processing is performed at the server, a thin client, smartphone, or tablet is sufficient to run the software. A browser-based service that does not require a user to download application code to use the service. This is an example of software as a service. And software as a service allows organizations to get quickly up and running without having to develop or deploy an application. And some examples of software as a service applications are Gmail, Google Drive, Microsoft Office 365, and Salesforce. And next we have anything as a service. So anything as a service, this is a term that describes a broad category of services related to cloud computing and remote access. With cloud computing technologies, vendors offer companies different kinds of services over the web or similar networks. This idea started with the basic software as a service, with cloud providers offering individual software applications. Other terms like infrastructure as a service and communications as a service were added as cloud services evolved. The core idea behind anything as a service and other cloud services is that businesses can cut costs and get specific kinds of personal resources by purchasing services from providers on a subscription basis. With anything as a service, businesses simply buy what they need and pay for it as they utilize it. And here is a handy dandy little chart called the separation of responsibilities that describes the differences between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and on premises. Now, if you're still lost and confused as to what's the difference between on-premise, infrastructure, platform, and software as a service, here's a chart showing you pizza as a service. So you can look at this chart and hopefully it will make sense to you so you can take this information and be successful out in these IT streets when it comes to cloud computing. Let's talk about cloud delivery models. So cloud computing comes in 4 general categories, and the first one is called a private cloud. And this is defined as computing services offered over the internet or a private internal network, and only to select users instead of the general public. Private cloud computing is considered to be more secure than public cloud computing. And speaking of public cloud computing, this is defined as computing services offered by third-party providers over the public internet, making them available to anyone who wants to use or purchase them. They may be free or sold on demand, allowing customers to pay only per usage for the CPU cycles, storage, or bandwidth they consume. And then we have a hybrid cloud, and this is a computing environment that combines public cloud and a private cloud by allowing data and applications to be shared between them. When computing and processing demands fluctuate, hybrid cloud computing gives organizations the ability to seamlessly scale their on-premise infrastructure up to the public cloud to handle any overflow without giving third-party data centers access to the entirety of their data. And then we have a community cloud, and this is a collaborative effort in which infrastructure is shared between several organizations from a specific community with common concerns such as security, compliance, jurisdiction, etc. Whether this is managed internally or by a third-party provider, and whether this is hosted internally or externally. And this is controlled and used by a group of organizations that have shared interests. The costs are spread over fewer users than a public cloud, but more than a private cloud, so only some of the cost savings potential of cloud computing will be realized. All right, so that was my quick little class where we talked about cloud models such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and anything as a service. And we also talked about various cloud delivery models such as private clouds, public clouds, hybrid clouds, and community clouds. Now, if you felt like you've gotten something valuable out of this information, go ahead and hit the like button, share button, drop a comment, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Also, go check out my website, Technology G, so that you can get read up on the latest and greatest to help you successfully pass the CompTIA Security Plus 601 certification exam. And until next video, ladies and gentlemen, peace.